Hello, welcome to Donington Park for Thursday testing. And we've got some new participants. The new academy cars are here at last. It's their first race weekend this weekend. So yeah, can't wait to see those guys out. Yeah, I've just done 2 sessions. Car's feeling pretty good. This just fell off on the last session. Not ideal, so I need to go get that sorted. But yeah, I'll check in with you all later. So here we are going out for testing. I really enjoyed testing at Donington, particularly on a Thursday. How testing almost always works is you run in sessions. If you've ever done like a session to track day, kind of quite similar. You have a time slot, you go out, you do as many laps as you can in that time slot, then you come back in, then it's somebody else's turn. If you're lucky, you're normally just with other people that you're going to be racing against. You're just banded in classes, which means everybody's similar pace. And you can find a bit of track and just lap around on your own, or you can race around with other people. You can really pick and choose how you use the session. Sometimes they band 2 Caterham categories together, like Academy and Roadsport, or 270 and 310. But on this occasion, on the Thursday, we had quite low Roadsport numbers, so they banded us with the kind of generic closed wheel group, which is just how MSV fill the test day up, which meant we was with a quite eclectic selection of cars. Some of them extremely fast in all circumstances, others very fast in straight lines, less so in corners, and kind of everything in between. And I really enjoyed it. The cars out there were pretty cool, on the most part, and it was a cool group of cars to be sharing a circuit with, in my opinion. But I can see how it was frustrating. It was easy to get stuck behind the cars like the historics that were really fast in a straight line, but very slow through the corners. But no, I had a kind of a test plan. I'd been making setup changes that week off the back of some track days I'd had. And also playing around with some tyre pressures, my usual anti-roll bar testing, a whole heap of things now, which has been a big difference this year to my academy year. In my academy year, testing was just seat time to me. It was just get in the car, don't even think about changing it because there's not a lot you can change, and just find time through myself. With Roadsport, I'm committing more time to playing around with things. Sometimes that works out. Sometimes it doesn't. I'm pretty sure on some race weekends I've gone slower because I keep faffing, but I'm really enjoying the process, and this was no exception. Really enjoyed testing, and by the end of the Friday I felt like I had a pretty consistent approach to the lap, and I was feeling good going into qualifying. Alright, welcome back to a pretty damp Donington Park on race morning. It's not going to stay damp though. I think the rain's finished now and the sun will come back out, so we should be having dry quali and dry race, which will be nice. Yeah, testing went pretty well. Pretty happy with how much speed I had. I've gone the wrong way. Can I fit the Volvo through my gazebo? What do we think? No, the trailer in the way. So yeah, I'll catch up with you after quali. I'm not supposed to have a favourite academy car, but it's definitely this one. Sorry everybody else, but how cool is that? Academy going out in about half an hour, I think. I need to go for my briefing. It's drying up, but looks ominous. So here we are heading out for qualifying. The rain did dry up. We got, while it was in the briefing, we got an absolute deluge, which meant that the academy qualifying was wet. The 270 qualifying, I think, started wet into a drying track, but as we were out in assembly, the ground fully dried up. So for some context in testing, a good time for me was a low 1:21. I'd love to do a qualifying video at some point without whittering around about toes all the time and stuff like that and slipstreaming, but without any kind of slipstream, kind of a 22 dead or a high 21 was kind of what I was looking at. So you go into qualifying with a rough idea of what good looks like for you, but of course you've got no idea what everybody else is doing. So this was my first flying lap, and it was a pretty scruffy one, to be honest, and it was still a mid 121. So based on the times I've been setting in testing, I knew the track was quicker on Saturday. So now it was about trying to maximise, get a really good slipstream, and see if I can get into the really low 21s or better. So throughout the session I tried a few different things, trying to get a good tow. I tried starting close to the car in front, I tried leaving a gap, I tried passing cars during the lap to try and get back-to-back tows off multiple cars. And despite all the different attempts at approaches, my consistency was right there. I think I did 7 or 8 laps within 1/10 of a second. I think it was 10 laps was within 1/4 of a second. So this was actually the fastest lap that I set in the session. As you can see, the tow, this really is too far back. I should have been a bit closer to the car in front at the start of the lap, but I'll let you watch it through. So we go improved only to a 21.3, which wasn't quite my best time of the weekend. I think I'd done a 21.2 in testing with an absolute dream boat of a tow. I came into Parc Fermé not knowing what to expect. You know, part of me was like, well, it was pretty quick. The track was pretty quick. I don't know how well everybody else was doing. Maybe this is a good one. And then you start to get these cues that you maybe didn't do too well, i.e. there's nobody running over to tell you that you've put it on pole, and then you get to Parc Fermé and you don't get pointed at the weighbridge. At that point you start thinking, this sucked. But anyway, I came into Parc Fermé and it was a P6. The fastest time was a 20.8, so I was a good half second off the pace, which I'll be honest, I was pretty disappointed with.
Cars all forming up. You gave a really good intro to the season, and as you say, Richard Davis looking to see whether he can recover that really good form that he had, but lost out. And we have dropped scores, but we're about to get the green flag, and then we will get the first of 2 Roadsport race actions up and running. 20 minutes of action incoming.
Oh, indeed. All set, and while Marshall at the back there giving the green flag wave, that means we are green to go racing. Look to your right, there are the lights, everyone will be looking up. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, round number 7 of the Caterham Roadsport Championship gets underway. It's a good start from our pole sitter there, and Basanya absolutely bolting away initially, but now Smith trying to catch up to him here in the run towards Redgate. But watch out behind, you can see Fox there staying nice and tight in the middle of the road. And well, it's going to be Basanya who leads them through Redgate Bend. A couple of tries going wide, somebody snaking amongst it, somebody goes to the gravel, gets it back together just about, but at least they're all safely through the opening bend. Here they come down through the Craner curves. Starting with Hollywood, then to the Craner, and it's going to be Basanya, Smith and Fox who lead the trio, but then the rest of the field follows. 2-3 wide further back. Oh, big spin
out of contact as they go down Craner curves, as they're going to spin across the pack, and everyone else does manage to avoid. In fact, one other car caught up in then at the rear of that field then, so there's a Marshall running out there. Might well see a safety car in order to go and get that. They have got a live snatch option, but there were 3 cars there, and they may even choose to throw the red just to get it all back under control. As the rest of the field though are up and around, so we'll keep an eye out to see whether that gets deployed. But Basanya made a great start. He hadn't even do it. In fact, safety car has been deployed, so Basanya's still out over the top of Oliver Smith in that second place. There's contact in there, and remember the safety car Fords will be out, and there's one car out. That's not going to go down well with the stewards, as there's a little bit of shenanigans there as something.
Hi everybody, just a quick voiceover intermission while we're in the safety car period. So yeah, good start for line. I think that's becoming a bit of a habit, which is always nice, and made it into P3 by turn 1. And then I screwed up along with quite a lot of the grid. We had the safety car boards came on entry into Coppice, and I missed it. You know, it's a blind entry as it is, surrounded by cars. and I didn't see it. I then got caught out by Ollie, who was slowing for the safety car, so I kind of ducked past him on the grass. And then whilst I was busy looking in my mirrors, figuring out what had gone on with Ollie, I didn't notice Mitch slowing up in front of me, so I also went past Mitch. So yeah, pretty embarrassing. But as you can see, it wasn't just me. There was a load of cars. I lost count of how many people were penalised for this, but I think we all got the same punishment. We all got penalty points on our licence, which does equate to a championship point penalty as well. So it's, it was taken quite seriously. But it made for a confusing start to the race. People were out of position. Ollie particularly, he was being a good boy and he dropped right back, so he had a bit of a fight on his hands. I had a bit of confusion because I knew I'd passed Mitch under the safety car. I had seen the board at that point, and I just got caught out by him slowing. So I was trying to figure out on the safety car laps how I gave that place back. Mitch rightfully wasn't keen on taking that place back because he was worried about further repercussions. So yeah, it was all just a messy, embarrassing and confusing start to the race.
Distributed down there, they will move those cars out of the way. The other working as they're going to need them, because the first time they are going to need them. Can we see the safety car? The lights are out, so Davies is now that safety car. They are going green at the end of this lap then.
Indeed, so safety car makes the one through. Davies bunches the field up. As soon as that safety car crosses the pit limiter line, he is allowed to go. And there he goes. He goes nice and early through the S's. That's to be expected, but it does catch up several drivers there. And we are green for 11.5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. It's back underway. Round number 7 at the Caterham Roadsport Championship, sponsored by Bilstein, as they roar the way in towards turn of 1. And well, Davies then nailing that restart, and Bond following through. And very much due to Bond. It's an absolutely brilliant start to the race. Change of position into Redgate there, a bit further back inside the top 10. We'll update you on who changed what shortly as they'll come through. Another shout out as well is Bishop, both started on that 5th row, 5th and 6th now. They're going to want to watch out for as this race continues. Look at that, Chris. On top 7 splitting, and then Sunny battle brake flights.
Yeah, speaking to John the other day, and he was saying how he's got his lucky underwear on, and there are definite rumours that it's a Lacey number going on in that car, so certainly going quickly there in that 2nd place. But Davies, whatever happened when the safety car boards put out, he put it to the front of that field at that point. Sanya's having to do a little bit of work, and he's in that 4th place still as they come up into the cleans this time. Townend finding himself in that 3rd place. Can he keep it there to the end? He's had a little bit of a topsy-turvy season, and has had a lot of them, and it's just because the racing's been so close and competitive. And at the moment, so everyone can carry a drop score, 2 drop scores by the end of the season. So it's not the end of the world that some of them are carrying lower scores. It moves them down in the championship, but actually that will count as one of their drops as they're still weaving and trying to get rid of that toe. It is still Bond in that 2nd place, but Townend is looking down the inside. He's going to have that inside line at the moment. Bond just said, right, fine, at this stage of the race, I'm okay with that. But that's going to give for Sanya a little bit of a run as they come into Redgate this time.
Indeed, as they head on down. Davies right now continue to try and weave a little bit of break in the toe, but the battle for 3rd, it is going to be Vasanya on the right of your picture, and then he looks around the outside. Can he get this done on the brakes? Maybe not, as Bond goes defensive there, but Vasanya says, you know what, let's go all the way around the outside, see if we can make the dance happen. He's got a little bit of nose ahead. He worked a better traction out the corner. He does just squeeze in a third place as he comes through Hollywood. We see a little bit behind there, Emerson and Vicious still trying to play catch up to this group. It changed to 3rd for now, but right now Emerson and Vicious seem to be working together. Between Watson and Smith with them, and we do see a bit further out. That is going to be the Hicks French Fox contingent. We'll find some over 10th place, but back towards the front we go. He's right now trying to put away. I think Townend is going to reel him in at this rate.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Fox. He got caught out in that middle pack, and he is now in the top 10, which is exactly where we expect to see him in that yellow machine. He'd normally be further up, and we saw him having a next far last time out. Needs to work to get back through. And with that safety car, it's not so many minutes left on the clock as this battle is raging on. Roman Vicious still heading in that group in front of him. It's Emerson, there's a coloured car, and let's come down towards us.
Indeed, he's doing an absolute mint job at the moment, carrying on the theme of his colour scheme, but here comes a look up the inside of Bishop, but that's a swap of position, and Emerson immediately just simply saying, right, I'm going to let you go, we need to keep moving forward as we are losing time. But the problem is, right now, Watson and Smith, they may not have got the memo with regards to that one, as meanwhile, back to the front into Redgate. It's a look around the outside, Evan Townend, can he get it done? Davies goes very late on the brakes there, he's going to try and hold it, and he's going to then go a bit deep through the corner. Townend backs off, 9-2 is not going to work out there. He's going to pull back into Hollywood, but like you say, Chris, with the amount of time they've essentially got half the race they expected. So therefore, for our drivers here, it's going to feel is a sprint race by default, but this is going to feel an even quicker race. That's Contempt.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not, you don't have that long to settle in. You just got to go, and I think so Davis is doing that well at the moment. Fasania, though, firmly back involved in that top three. John Bond just losing out a little bit in this middle phase of the rest of that lap all coming through. I saw the car really twitching there. It's the temperature has gone up since before lunch, and it will mean the tyres are really having to work hard. And maybe if they haven't dropped the pressures a little bit, they won't sort of twitchy underneath them. And as the temperature goes up, they do tend to get a little bit like bubble gum almost. They kind of sticky, gooey mess that's trying hard to give them all the grip they need, but isn't always able to. Here comes Fasania then. He's got the super toe down the outside. He's going to overtake both of them, is he? But then neither of them are going to give up at this stage. Again, we're into the later stage of this race. Really trying to hold on down the inside. Davis is going to do it. They're going to lose momentum, and Fasania should be able to carry a few miles an hour as he goes into Redgate this time. So watch the green car, see whether he can do anything about the position in front.
Well, indeed, smart racing for Fasania, trying to pressure the leading duo to battle each other, race offline. Then suddenly he gets that catapult momentum coming in towards Redgate, looks around the outside again. But that is Townend covering him off and also looking for a run on Davies. That also means that Bond starts to get a little bit closer. And suddenly what was a leading duo becomes a leading quartet. And it's going to be Townend looking around the outside of Hollywood in towards the corner curves. Not going to work, backs off the throttle there. 9, and he tries to go for it. It's probably going to end up in disaster. We'll see him take a trip to the grass. Not just yet, but there you can see top 4. Then it's 5th through to 9 together. Smith, Emerson, Bishop, Watson and Oliver. And then Fox right now has the rather stoic attempt to hold on to 10th place. The Hicks and French as they all make the way up through the second half of this lap. Right now they're all picking their places as they come charging on around. But look at this, bit of a change of position there. That's going to be, I think, for 7th place. It's going to be Watson getting a move on Vicious. A change of foot there. The more they fight, the more they could split the field out. That's the last thing you need to do at this point.
Yeah, I think so. It is definitely a game of gamble. If you go for the overtake, you're going to lose momentum. But Davis has been absolutely resisting that overtake. He's holding on there, given that he's been out in front, but he's super late on the brakes. I don't think he's going to make it happen this time. Carl Townend is over the lap of him. In fact, he is. He's still going to go really late on those brakes. At some point, he's going to run out of braking potential, but at the moment, it's all working out for him, and he's managing to hold this field back. That is not an easy task around this Donington National Circuit, where normally, and as we've seen today, the overtakes happen readily, but he's absolutely protecting that inside line. But that's brought John Bond right back up towards Fasania there in that 3rd place, and Smith isn't too far back, and he's going to be joining in this battle not too far away from now.
Smith's going to be grinning from ear to ear, like they've seen them all fighting each other non-stop, but of course he'll start to worry about the fact if they continue to fight, he can't find a way through. That's going to bring Emerson and Watson in there. You can see Vision out the back of that trio, so it's still Emerson holding on to that 6th place, and where it's the wet or the dry, he seems to do very well either in those conditions. And you see a little bit of that Oliver there. Not quite able to stay with them, but they've run wide. They're using all the runoff area and extra tarmac, call it value-added tarmac of the AT. And well, right now, Watson definitely trying to find a way into that 6th place. I think he feels though he's got the pace to chase down the top 5. But the problem is you've got to pass the drivers in front of you to get to that top 5. Watson, you can't just simply get through like that. See a bit further back on.
I think he's got the pace in it because he's come from 4th, 15th on the grid and actually come all the way up to 7th, so he's fought his way through. So he's definitely got the speed in that, but Oliver is now very much part of that lead battle, and it is Heinrich who's next up on the track. Has he got any speed to come across the gap in the last 4.5 minutes? Side by side, Townend to the outside. Can he resist into this corner? Still having to leave Davis the space on the inside there. Davis has not relented this lead for as long as that safety car has brought them up under racing conditions again. But Townend looking like at some point they are going to make that overlap happen, and what will Davis do at that point?
Indeed, it's going to be interesting to see, and keep in mind, of course, that Carl Townend yet to take a win this season. He's going to try and spoil what would be a 5th win of the season for Davis if he can. That's not going to work as speed. Well, Fasania just holding off Bond, but Smith right now getting the better run through Redgate. That's with Bond and Smith side by side, coming all the way down toward the old hairpin. But immediately Bond says, I don't want any part to play in this. I want to stay with the leaders, thank you. So he gives Smith the right to take 4th place. The 89 moves up a position, but look at boys Watson and Bishop behind. They were 2 seconds back on the previous lap. Now they're 1.5 seconds. They will be there if this continues, and we have not got long left. 4 minutes left on the clock. This lap plus most likely at least another 2, perhaps 3. It's building up to a bit of a boiling point here, and I'm not talking about the temperature in the commentary booth as they come charging on past us again. But goodness me, load of battles building up here, Chris.
Smith was absolutely sideways all the way down Craner curves that time. That's not going to be good for his tyre temperature. And actually Townend looking around the outside. McLean's can work, but Sanya's now got the inside line for the Coppice. In fact, they're going down out Coppice now, so he is on the inside. And he's still looking, but Absolute Davis protecting down that inside, and they're trying to just go over the top of him on that inside line because they know he's late on the brakes. And as Fasanya got it done this time, Davis still coming back to him. They're having to leave him that space because he's alongside enough. Fasanya's going to have to go the other side of those tower barriers. Careful on that rejoin, he's going to lose all his momentum. And here comes Heinrich and Watson Miller. He's absolutely up there, so Fasanya is going to lose that momentum, and that gap has evaporated.
In complete hands and Sunny, all this build together. Fasanya learning the hard way, unfortunately, that Davies is the latest of the late breakers. But here comes Town and he says, I'm going to prove I can break just as late as you. 2-1, they come through, literally so close they can touch as they make the way out. Davies just holding on. And well, we can see there Smith. Look at Smith coming up the inside here, coming through Hollywood, but he backs off once again. Just does not want to stick his nose in there until the very last moment. That final lap, expect Smith to be absolutely razor sharp and clinical with his moves. But looking at how it brought all the field together, and Fasanya right now back up into fifth already, checking after Watson at this point, and well, goodness me, it's so close. Any one of our top 13 could win this race now. In theory, I'll be on the podium. It's all going to be chop and change. Emerson's actually slipped back down to 9 whilst all this is going on. Oliver's got ahead, and so has Vischer. But there we go, 2 by 2 as they come through Schwanson in towards McLean's. And at this point, I mean, if you're further down, Chris, you know something towards the back end of the top 10. Are you looking all the way to the front, or are you still thinking about the 2 cars in front of you?
I think you're dealing with this corner by corner at the moment, just seeing whether you can go forward. Here comes Heinrich Watson Miller, so he is now into that second place. He really has got a head of steam coming from deep in the field in this dry conditions. He's really got that car under him. Can he do what everyone else has not been able to do and depose Watson? I think he might have done it. He's actually going to take his line. That's going to give him a little bit of room there, ever so tight as they go through the shape, but he's made it to the front of this Roadsport field. They are about to start their last lap of the race then. 20 minutes to 10 minutes under after the safety car has come in, and they're absolutely all back together again.
Oh, it's absolutely incredible, but here we go, free winding towards Redgate here, Townend on the right. Meanwhile, it will be Davies in the middle, and in the end, Watson decides to back out. He doesn't want to play the game right now, and I do wonder where he thinks so with the time remaining. We may squeeze in one extra bit of run winder for Fasanya, a little bit of bodywork coming off, but I think that's all innocent there, and doesn't seem to punch anyone's tyres. But right now, the tempo of the racing is actually building up, but for the first time today, Townend now leads this race ahead of a very hungry pack of drivers behind. What's going to be the game plan? How does he now go from being the hunter to being the hunted? As it's Stephanie Davis looking all the way around the outside. Well, he's going to find some road there. In the end, he's going to run it all the way onto the exit curve. That's going to be now for Schwanz in towards McLean. He goes for it. He sent it all the way out to the inside. And I think that might be Davis back into the lead.
It is, but does he want to be in the lead as they head onto the final straight this time? Going into the chicane is going to be ever so. He's been such on the last of the late breakers. Maybe it is the right thing. Still Townend actually out in front. Watson Miller just behind them. Smith then for Sanya, still seeing whether they can all do something about this. They're all taking that extreme left, which means that they're going to be ever so slow as they go through the middle of this corner. This could all end in tears, but let's get them through this side by side. Townend's in the cheap seats at the moment, but we're going to look round the outside. Can he go? Watson Miller's in that third place as well, but it looks like Townend is going to hold on for that win over the top then of Davies in second place. Then what a run back from our 14th place starter there to take Watson Miller into third place.
Indeed, I think we've still got one more lap though, Chris, as they head on. We've still got 10 seconds left to go, so it's not quite over yet, but absolutely lovely enthusiasm. I don't think anyone can blame you for that, and right now I don't want this race to end. Neither of us do, to be fair, but as they come charging on down the hill, Townend right now still holding on, but Davies, Watson there, and Smith just simply sitting in the background with the popcorn in his car, metaphorically speaking, and thinking, well, how do I get involved in this absolute cinema? And what he thinks about it's the old hairpin. That's not going to work out. This top three is incredible right now. A bit of run wide there from Watson. Watson right now, he's trying to tease out all the pace he can.
Absolutely, and as they head up the field then with that one more lap to go, luckily they're all looking at their timers rather than listening to me as I bleat on here in the commentary box. They are absolutely side by side then once more as they head out onto this crucial last straight then, heading into that chicane. We haven't seen anyone who's come out of that chicane in front has maintained it to the line, so it is absolutely essential. And it is Watson Miller who is out in that lead as they got one of the drivers well out wide there. They're going to lose momentum. Hopefully they're not going to spin around. They can manage to join back up again.
Oh, indeed, keeps it together, but now it's into the final 2 quarters of this race. It's going to be almost 4 wide up front, then it becomes 3 wide. That's going to be Watson who's on the inside. He backs out. Townend versus what will be Smith there. Smith tries to get it through, but it's not going to work out. And in the end, for Carl Townend, as he charges towards the finish line, it's going to be a first win of the season for him in the Caterham Motorsport Championship. And then it'll be Smith and Watson who completes your top 3 ahead of Fox, who somehow comes all the way back.
And yeah, it looked like Watson just drifted off wide, and it was a bit unfortunate he's lost out. But we've got the provisional results in.
Oh, indeed, and ladies and gentlemen, after an incredible, what was in the end, 13 minutes or so of racing for round number 7 of the 2026 Bilstein Caterham Roadsport Championship here at Donington Park National, Carl Townend taking his first win of the season by 2 tenths over Oliver Smith. And well, for Oliver Smith, it does mean now that is his 4th podium of the season, and Heinrich Miller in the end, going all the way through to 3rd place. And keeping in mind the fact that he comes into this pair of rounds today at the very back of the championship standings, he's going to be absolutely overjoyed with being on the podium. Matthew Fox, 4th there, almost on the podium. What a stoic effort from him. And Mitchell Fasanya, 5th there, didn't quite work out. Ben Oliver, 6th, and well, the top 6 separated by less than a second, and it was a further 4 tenths to Sam Eminson, who couldn't quite find a way into the top 5 in the end, but did very well to hold on inside the top 10, with John Bond, Richard Northridge, and Richard Davies completing the top 10. But for Richard Davies, that's not the way he wanted to go. That run wide at Coppice cost him a huge result. And well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a breather in the commentary booth, because we have got Sam Parker down in Parc Ferme, all set and ready to interview our drivers, particularly our top 3 from such an epic race.
Crossover quickly. Ah, look. Kyle is coming out of his car now. Let's see if we can grab a quick word from him. He's still got his helmet on.
Sorry.
Kyle!
Sorry.
No, you take your time. You decompress. You do whatever you need to do. I'll just big you up. P1.
What race?
First of the season. How's that feel?
Yeah, amazing. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. Yeah, it really is. It's been this season's been so hard. These guys are insane. It's just so competitive. So yeah, to get the lead and manage to keep hold of it. Yeah, I'm in for that.
Well, you made your way out really well, P6 to P1 throughout the race. I mean, you were yo-yoing, weren't you, with both Ollie and Heinrich?
Yeah.
The whole race, especially those closing laps, it could have gone any which way. We also saw Davies go off, didn't we?
You know, well, I didn't. To be honest, I didn't see that, so that's news to me. But no, I mean, I saw the pack behind me, and I knew if you yield too much going to the chicane, it could be P2 to P6 or whatever. So I just had to hold my ground, and and luckily came through ahead.
Wow, I think down to P10 at one point it was all of you for the win, only separated by fractions.
Yeah.
I'll let you go, decompress, have some water, they're giving it out, go and see your friends and family who'd be so proud of you. Congratulations, Carl, amazing win for you, his first of the season. And I actually hear that the 310R cars are now on the grid, so I'll hand back to my friends Chris and Paul in the studio.
Hello, welcome to the garage for Race 1 Debrief. You joined me just taking a breather because I'm getting all hot and bothered trying to get that thing ready for a track day next week. So that should be fun if I can get that going and just give me a bit of a break from race car stuff. So as for race 1, it was a win. Yay! Obviously very happy with that. I could have done without the sort of safety car situation. I think I was a little bit disappointed with myself on that one. I've taken my licks for it. I now have a not insignificant amount of sort of championship penalties from stewarding stuff, so it is going to have a notable impact on my championship standings, I think, by the end of this year. So yeah, disappointed. It was all just a bit confusing. I should have done better. Should know better by now. So that aside, once we got going again, I was really happy with the racing. Left myself a bit exposed on the inside of Coppice a couple of times, because you're not just leaving yourself vulnerable against one car, you're effectively shuffling yourself out of the tow train, which can leave you losing several places going into the chicane. So yeah, there was a couple of mistakes in that, but really enjoyed the sort of, it felt like a tactical battle with Rich. He was really good on the brakes, couldn't sneak past him anywhere. So it became more about just trying to, I guess, force him into track positions that would maybe give me a run somewhere else. And it was good fun. It was good, close, hard racing. Special shout out to Heinrich for blasting all the way through from, I think he was like 15th in qualifying, to make it onto the podium. And yeah, it was a starting really for a really strong weekend for him. So yeah, congratulations on that podium, Heinrich. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Really good day of racing, up till this point anyway. I won't spoil what happens next. But yeah, it was a case of trying to chill out for an hour or two.
try and cool down, just check the car over, and then get back out for race 2 later that afternoon. So I will catch you at that one.